Congratulations, David Price, on your knockout victory over Costa Junior. For those of you who have followed Bayloric TV boxing before the Tony Thompson second fight, I made the prediction fight, and then after the prediction, made it clear that I believe that David Price had to get away, to leave Liverpool, and to base himself in another country, whether it be in Europe or in America. It seems that David Price took that advice and is now in Germany and rebuilding his career quietly. You know, it's quite funny. The same people that turned around and told David Price he needs to step up and fight decent opposition. He went and fought Tony Thompson and came on stuck against Thompson the first fight. And then those same people said, right, get back straight back in there and try and get the rematch with Thompson or try and beat Thompson. Then those same people criticise David Price for failing in that second fight because he had scars from the first fight. Well, of course you got scars from the first fight. Don't you think you should let those scars heal before you go and have a second fight and have a rematch? Even Lennox Lewis, who got knocked out by Oliver McCall and got, I believe, knocked out by Rackman, if I'm right in saying. Did he go back and have an immediate rematch? I'm not sure. But I know for certain that the rematch between McCall and Lewis, the second fight, there was a time and a gauge between the two fights. And they usually say when there's a gap between the first fight and the second fight, the outcome can be different. Where's my point? Yeah, back to David Price. These same people are now criticizing David Price tonight for the performance he's put on against Costa. If you listen to some of these people that would have put David Price in after he knocked out Audley Harris, and these same people that turned around and said that he should be in the ring fighting and he's the next best thing since sliced bread and he knock out the Klitschko's, those same people are floating around today saying that now Anthony Joshua is the next best thing and all the rest of it. I just hope that people who are clued up in boxing can watch what's going on and listen to what's being said and see between the illusion here and actually see the truth. We don't know how good Anthony Joshua is, and we won't know how good he is until he's tested in the way that David Price got tested. And David Price, let's remember, didn't get beat by a bum. People are acting like David Price got beat by a bum. David Price got beat by a top legit heavyweight that a lot of fighters would not face today. A lot of them. For whatever reason, excuses they put up, they wouldn't fight Tony Thompson. I see Anthony Joshua, no rush to go and fight Tony Thompson, but in a rush to go and fight Kevin Johnson. Why didn't Eddie Hearn make the Tony Thompson fight? That would sell better, and then a David Price fight could happen. So I don't, and of course, he's a southpaw as well. Price didn't look good against southpaws as an amateur. I made this statement. That's why I thought in the beginning Audley had a chance against Price because of the southpaw style. Eventually was the southpaw and an older southpaw that did it, which was Tony Thompson. Some to my point now about Price. I like the way Price is learning on the job now. Price is doing now what he should have done when he was on his way up, knocking people out. That's what he should have been doing in the beginning, learning his trade. He should learn his trade, learn what he's doing now. And there's some good things about Price. Now Price is learning how to slip punches, how to block punches, nice defensive work. That's very good to see from Price. You know he's got the power. And he said it himself, I'm not going to go out there and try and blast everybody out now. So it seems before Price was under pressure to put on a performance. Now it seems that he's in a better place. Read between the lines. He's in a better place promotionally. And now he can fight the way he wants to fight, in the comfortability of the way he wants to fight. And with the opponents he's fighting at the moment, sure, you can do that. Of course, when you're fighting the best fighters in the world, then it's a different situation altogether. But I like what I'm seeing from David Price. Yes, David Price looks like a guy who's short on confidence, and like I suggested beforehand, I think it's time David Price, if he's not already, get a hypnotist. Because if he gets a hypnotist, I think he'd be a better fighter for it, to work on his confidence. Either you know, and he needs to have. If Tommy Brooks is his trainer, I didn't see Tommy Brooks now, but I don't know if that's because of the camera angles and stuff. I didn't see Tommy Brooks. If Tommy Brooks is his trainer needs to be with him all the time. David Price needs a mentor type figure and a James Ali Bashir figure, somebody who's there all the time with him that can give him the knowledge to improve his boxing skills and ability, to teach him that and still be a close friend to him. I like Franny Smith, who's very close to David Price, but I'm not sure Franny Smith has got the experience like a James Ali Bashir, or again as Tony Brooks, or those sort of trainers with that sort of years of experience in the professional game who have trained heavyweight champions. So I like what David Price is doing. I like where he's going. I like what he's thinking. I still think he's vastly underrated. People keep saying he's chinny and he's this and he's that. This is the heavyweight division. If you get hit on the chin, there's not a lot of heavyweights that when they get in the chin are going to be able to take it. And I like where David Price is going. I don't care what he else tells me. I think he's got as good a chance as anybody in the heavyweight division with that left and that right hand combination that knocked out Costa. And I believe in my mind he could have got Costa out of there within the first 2 or 3 rounds, to be honest with you. But it just seemed to me that David Price wanted to get rounds under his belt. Eddie Hearn criticised David Price. Of course, Eddie Hearn would criticise David Price and say, well, David Price didn't look great. If I were David Price, I wouldn't pay attention to what Eddie Hearn says. Eddie Hearn should concern himself with his fight, which is Anthony Joshua. And when Anthony Joshua steps up in class, and if he gets knocked out in the future and he's in a similar situation, how does Eddie Hearn respond to that? We don't know what it's like yet. So it's okay to criticize another man in a situation when he's down. I think David Price is developing the tools to become a serious threat in the heavyweight division, and he's doing it quietly, which is what he needed to do, I think. So he's learning on the job. Again, criticism of David Price. If you're going to learn on the job, you want to be a heavyweight at 6'8" and have all this power, you need to have a proper left jab. This pouring left jab is annoying to watch. Such a big man waste a left hand. The best fighters in history have had a ramrod great left jab, and David Price is pouring the left jab, and he needs to be ramming that jab home, really pushing the jab and really rocking guys' heads back. Lennox Lewis, Vladimir Klitschko, Larry Holmes, Muhammad Ali, those jabs when they flick you in your face and you head back, that sort of a jab is what David Price needs to be having, and why he has not. He's got a defensive style now. His style is far more defensive, and you can see he doesn't look as robotic. He's sort of looking a little bit more fluid. I think David Price needs to take a trip over to the Caribbean and chill on the beaches of the Caribbean, and and do some limbo dancing and kind of get some I don't know, some upper body movement, a bit more upper body. But you can see he's not as stiff as he used to be. He used to fight like a mummy, real stiff. You can see now he's trying to move the head a bit. He's got a bit more like American style, trying to move and like the way he's like cuffing, blocking punches and staying in the pocket. There is, when Price is close to an opponent, it seems like he doesn't quite know what to do. For me, I think he's got to learn how to fight more like Vladimir Klitschko. When he's up close, tie up opponent and hold him up. I believe if he could have had that against Tony Thompson, when he hurt Thompson, if he tied Thompson up and able to fight like Vlad did, he could have beaten Thompson. Let's remember in the fight against Thompson, right? A lot of people are slagging Price off and saying he had no heart. Price dropped Thompson in that fight heavily in that fight. Something that a lot of heavyweights couldn't do against Thompson. Dropped him twice. So, it's not like Price, it was a one-sided beating. Price was in the fight. So, this new version of Price, we still don't know what happens when somebody comes charging at him. But Costa came and had a go, and it was nice. Price was able to block and tuck up. So these fights are good learning fights for him to practice things with, and he's going to need a few more of these fights. He said he's going back to Liverpool soon to fight. I just am kind of glad that people are not talking about David Price in the same way. He's a guy and a fighter that I have got the utmost respect for, and I believe can become world champion. In fact, I believe he is going to become world champion, David Price. He's got his head screwed on the right way. I think he's been managed better. I also think that he knows what he's about and he knows what his journey's about. So he's a dangerous man, a dangerous man. I don't believe he just got there and hit David Price and chin and he goes over. I don't believe that because let's be fair, not even Tony Thompson did that. He took a few punches against Thompson as well, and Thompson's no mug. I don't know how many other good southpaws in the world there are as good as him. So yeah, I think Price can. I personally think Price can go all the way. A fight against Fury and Price in the future might be very interesting with this development of Price, but it's his mental game. His mental game is what's gonna be different between him becoming a world champion and him failing at the last hurdle. But with that punch power in his hands, that left jab, that right hand, that left hook, with a good left jab, I think that we're gonna have a guy that's pretty serious in the heavyweight division. So those are my thoughts about David Price. A lot of people won't agree with me. Don't really care, to be honest. I like David Price. I think he's getting places. Let me know what you think. I'm out.